Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy on trial for corruption, a first. Paris. The trial of Nicolas Sarkozy, tried from Monday for corruption, which is unprecedented for a former French president, was suspended shortly after its opening and until Thursday, the time for a medical expertise for one of the co-accused, a magistrate. Before him, only another former French president, Jacques Chirac, had been tried and sentenced in 2011 to 2 years suspended for embezzlement of public funds, but Mr. Sarkozy, 65, is the first head of state of the post-war trial for corruption. The criminal court ordered an expert opinion on the state of health of former Judge Gilbert Azibert, 73, absent from the hearing for medical reasons. In a black suit and white shirt, Mr. Sarkozy arrived around 1:20 p.m. surrounded by a cloud of cameras. In the courtroom, he greeted lawyers and financial prosecutors. While president of the criminal court, Christine Mee, announced his full identity, Nicolas Sarkozy of Nagy-Bogscha, he replied, "Sarkozy, that's enough." The magistrate specified that the procedure provided for it for the criminal record. He retorted, shrugging his shoulders, "So far I haven't needed to use it," before sitting down next to his lawyer friend and co-defendant Thierry Herzog. For Mr. Sarkozy, who said he was combative before the trial, this case is a scandal that will go down in history. Removed from politics since his defeat in the right-wing primary at the end of 2016, Mr. Sarkozy faces 10 years in prison and €1 million in fines for corruption and influence peddling. The eavesdropping affair has its origins in another file that threatens Nicolas Sarkozy, the suspicions of Libyan financing of his 2007 presidential campaign. As part of this, the judges had decided in September 2013 to wiretap the former president, and discovered in early 2014 that he was using a secret line, under the pseudonym Paul Bismuth, to communicate with his lawyer Thierry Herzog. According to the prosecution, some conversations have revealed the existence of a corruption pact. Nicolas Sarkozy, through Mr. Herzog, considered bringing a boost to Mr. Azibert to help him obtain a position in the Principality of Monaco which he coveted, but which he never obtained. In return, according to the prosecution, this senior magistrate provided information, covered by secrecy, on a procedure initiated in cassation by Mr. Sarkozy on the sidelines of another file, Betancourt case, and tried to influence his colleagues. After having benefited from a dismissal in the Betancourt affair at the end of 2013, Nicolas Sarkozy had indeed appealed to the Court of Cassation to quash the seizure of his presidential agendas, which may be of interest to justice in other proceedings. In discussions with his lawyer, the basis of the prosecution, the ex-president pledged to intervene in favor of Judge Azibert. "I make him go up, I will help him," he said thus to me, Herzog. Not a rotten. Shortly after, he declared that he had given up making the approach to the Monegasque authorities. For investigators, a turnaround could come from the discovery by the two men that their unofficial phones were tapped. All of this is a little bit of a sentence taken from a context. Paul Albert Iwines, lawyer for Mr. Herzog, told France Info on Monday morning, referring only to conversations between very long-time friends. In an indictment in October 2017, the National Financial Prosecutor's Office for its part compared the methods of Mr. Sarkozy to those of an experienced delinquent. The three defendants contest any corruption pact. Mr. Azibert did not get anything, I did not take any action, and I was dismissed by the Court of Cassation concerning the agendas, argued the former president in 2014. "I will explain myself in court because I have always lived up to my obligations," he said recently on French channel BFM TV. "I am not a rotten," he added. Nicolas Sarkozy has repeatedly denounced a political instrumentalization of justice, unsuccessfully multiplying the remedies. The validation of the wiretapping in March 2016 by the highest court had been a major defeat for the former president, who considered that the transcription of exchanges between a lawyer and his client was illegal. This issue will again be hotly debated during the trial. Another trial awaits Nicolas Sarkozy in the spring, that of the big million affair over his campaign cost for the 2012 presidential election, which he lost to socialist François Hollande.